Good day, everyone. This is Angelina, and I'd like to warmly welcome you and thank you for joining us here today for the Smada World webinar. We are using a new conference room. We've actually had this one set up, but this is our first time testing it live with everyone. So forgive us if we mess up in some way, shape, or form. We'll get it all sorted. That's why we posted a new link in the room. So we do have an update for you on information for both NLA and the e-commerce platform. Just a couple of other things to mention. I already mentioned this. If you're having issues hearing us, please adjust your volume on your PC or in the room. There's a mic icon down by the chat bar, I believe, to adjust. And once again, please also keep all of your comments and questions until the Q&A time is announced. I'll introduce to you our speaker for today, Mr. Noel Adams, the founder of Next Level Africa and our CEO and leader of the Smada team. Welcome, Noel.
All right, look, firstly, I'd like to welcome everybody to the conference, and a special thanks to our admin team in the way of Angelina, Karen and Julie there. And look, this is the first time Karen, who is our master record person, this is the first time she's used this platform as well, but I'm sure that our beautiful Karen will work this out. So anyway, we'll go from there. So what we actually have, I want to just start off with a little bit of housekeeping to start with. And in the housekeeping, I just want to cover the use of the Skype rooms. It's fairly important because we use these rooms for giving people the updates and the information that we've got. Now remember, we are just the messengers. We are not building this platform. We are not, but what I'm saying about the rooms, that the rooms, they are important and for us to do updates. Now, there's certain things you can put into the room to ask a question on, but most of the things that you want to be asking about should really be directed to our support. And the support is something that we've set up there so that we can deal with things. People putting in support tickets that, or not support tickets, putting things in the room that we need private information to answer what they're doing. We can't do it in the room. So please, in the rooms, look, there's a golden rule in networking where you send negative upline and positive downline. And if anyone's got an issue, they should really take it up with their sponsor that brought them to it. And one of the things that seems to be a standout, where we have people that have been away, whatever they've been doing, private things, personal and business, whatever it's been, come back into our group after a couple of years and really want to say, I can't see too much being done. The people that are there all the time, whilst it's slow, can see this whole thing moving forward as in bits and pieces out there, but we can't go any faster. It's not up to us. It's to do with, top of that, we have issues that come in to do with personal things. Myself and our developer, we're in different countries, but we both came down with a major dose of the flu. I was laid up for a month, still trying to do things, but nevertheless, it really knocked me for six. So, and then I've had that many meetings on. So please, in the rooms, just be respectful on what you put there, because look, I'll tell you what happens. People
minute. Yeah, we know that the sound is coming in and out. We know that we lost Noel. Give me a second here. I'm just going to type to him. Sorry about that, everyone. I'm not sure just what happened. I was having issues today with my computer and internet access, so my sound is much louder. I don't know why. I think, okay, my sound is perfect. Noel's is very quiet, and yet on my end, Noel is fine. So I think it's just a hit and miss thing on your computer. And okay, Noel is trying again. I'm glad that most comments we're getting are the sound is fine. Hey, listen, on the good side to all of this, we've got some half-decent news that we're going to pass on. So can I hear a loud cheer? We do good. Yay, that's great. Listen, we only like to provide good news, and we do our best to provide the information that we can provide that is confirmed. So we have a lot of really wonderful, loyal supporters in our rooms that we just can't measure our appreciation. When Noel comes back here, hopefully his sound will be better as well. It's really, really important. This room still is not mobile friendly, okay? We have mentioned that multiple times, that the conference room is not mobile friendly. And then we get people saying, oh, well, I can log in on Safari or whatever. You know something? Please don't do that. It's helpful to some people, but most of the time it's not, especially when we're encouraging people to please log in with a PC. Okay, Noel is saying he's ready to try again. So, okay, thanks. Noel, here you go. Okay, back.
Can anyone hear me at all out there? Okay, okay, I'm getting lots of yeses, so I'll run in and try to do this as quickly as I can. I think I got really through the housekeeping, but can people just be aware of what they're... We are under the microscope with investors, under the microscope with a bank. Every time negative things go in those rooms, I have to answer on what's going on. We've had to remove people from the rooms because they just don't fully understand what the rooms are for. And there's no use coming in there and saying things like, that wasn't enough information. We can't do anything about it. We get the information, we pass it on when we verify what the information is. And so all I'm getting at is that by telling us it's not enough of an update, we can't invent it. And so it is what it is out there. So any comments in the rooms to do with it's not enough of an update, well, that's ridiculous. You're shooting the messenger. We're just the messengers. So please think about what you're putting in the rooms, because you're dealing with other people's members as well, and they've got to explain to their new members that they want to bring in what this is all about. Because look, we do have, sadly, we have a choir, and once someone starts in there, the negative choir join in and start, and the whole thing goes sideways. And most of the time, they have no idea what they're talking about in the room. And we don't want to start these conversations in the room. That's why you don't here too much on us putting things out, because we don't want all of this to be carried on in the room. Anyway, look, I'll move on from that, but just be aware of the room. In other words, if you can't put something positive in there, don't put anything. Anything negative you got, you send it to support, or you talk to your upline and get clarity from that. I'll move on to the exchanges. And look, about 2 months ago, we put a request in that all trading with Chingaling be transferred into CEX coin exchange. Now, there was nothing further said about it, and I, like you, watched it happen for the first time. And so, therefore, we had to try to find out exactly what was going on with it. And we don't necessarily have all the information, but it's pretty clear on what's going on out there. And what's going on out there, that GEX has now been, it's not necessarily, GEX is still live, but you can't sign up any more new accounts on GEX. All logins will be done through CEX. So we are dealing with getting a full report from them so we can pass on the information to the members and then deal with it through support if people have had issues with coins or not being able to log in or something out there. So we're just trying to see exactly what we've got. But the positive side of it is that all of the people registered in GEX, which you may remember me talking about a group of investors with the bank, and that's where the money comes from that goes into, and you could see they just did a deposit into their asset account, and the asset account had a $22 billion deposit. That's from their investors. These investors invest in their humanitarian program, and it's invested out there, and they purchase the coin. Up till this point, the coin has been purchased off the exchange, because we do that with Next Level Africa, with people being able to upgrade their accounts. Those coins are purchased off the exchange, not on the exchange. So it's been no different. So once all of these things are put in place, we now have the investors, their group of, there's 97 of them, now part of CEX. So all trading with Chingaling will happen through CEX. Now, if you can appreciate, if you start doing averages on it, on when it was last updated, there's approximately, and this is just an approximate figure, about $1.3 billion a week spent on the Chingaling coin by their investors. Now, that is going to happen through CEX. Now remember this, because we now run CEX, the brokerage fee for that will become part of the income from CEX, which in itself will find its way back to our members in some way. Now the brokerage fee on something like $1.3 billion a week is about $30 million a week. So you can see that the bank have done a substantial thing for us to do that. I firmly didn't believe that we would get it, but it looks like they've decided to go with us on it. So look, questions on the exchange. I've really told you all I know, and I guess as it unfolds there, we'll see more and more. We will let members know when we've got all the information, and from that we will be able to let you know what to do as far as contacting support. So we are on top of it. We're trying to get as much information as we can, but like we're trying to do, we're not wanting to guess at things out there. We're just simply trying to come up with accurate figures. Now look, I'll cover NLA and a brief update on UPB. Maybe the brief update on UPB to start with. we've received notification, and there should be something going out to the UPB members very shortly about the site being fixed. And I do want to say a special thank you to Stephen Hotchkiss, who assisted the management of UPB to get the thing completed. Stephen has done a tremendous job out there, and I really appreciate what he's done to be able to assist them. So more information will come out about that, and we are going to be working in as closely as we can with UPB. You will notice in their site where it says that they accept PayPal and Bitcoin, but you'll see that that'll be changed as soon as we can work with, and that'll be changed to NLA coin. And so, because I think we all know the Bitcoin in a program like this, I believe would be impossible to run it because of the fluctuation on the price. Now with NLA, I just want to come back to that. We've had, look, everything with what we do is a priority. We've got that many things we're doing, so there's that many priorities we've got out there. With NLA, with putting the lines in, it's been as slow as a wet week, and there's issues there with it. So what I've had the programmers do is do up coding, so that what we can do is be able to reimburse anybody that skipped. Now we'll work out how we can do this, because there's a time factor on it as well. But what I'm wanting to do, I'm getting with the programmers probably over the weekend, and I want to work so that we can get all the lines in. So line 8 and 9, I'm looking to put all of those in so that we can get this completed. It's been over 12 months, and I just think personally I think it's a joke to go that far with it. I was told it was never going to take that long. And remember this, I have paid to have this completed out there, and it was never mentioned to me it would take this long to do it. So we are focusing on that part of it. The other part of it is the humanitarian project. This is how we became involved with the bank. Anyone that's is not familiar with that, we became involved with the bank through the humanitarian projects, and we have been appointed to actually be able to nominate some of our projects for a little bit of a helping hand. Now, one of the focuses that we have, and the bank have got us under the microscope on this, is we are going to start working on our own projects. And I know that what's happened out there, we've had people putting up projects that are not completed, and that could be for many reasons that they're coming back to complete them, or simply put them up there so they can collect the piggyback fee from other members that haven't done that. So we're going to be going through, and if you have a project with no details to it, maybe you could go in and just close it, because or complete it, whichever it is, because the bank are looking at it at the moment, and it's really not anything you'd want to be associating yourself with. So we are going to be focusing on getting our projects, especially humanitarian projects, up to speed. We have some quality projects out there. They've also contacted me again, because you may have remembered me telling you that they've allocated $100 billion a year for us to be handing out to the humanitarian projects. Now they've asked me to be available, to be in the office of the banks and their lawyers to go over, but I've indicated that I want to get our projects up so that when we present it to them, then we are going to, to make sure we've got it all right there and correct. So I want to just to reinforce that the humanitarian project program is still well out there, and we are going to be making sure that we do everything we can, our end, to get that completed. I'll now just mention briefly about the e-commerce. The e-commerce program is something that we've had, look, it's been worked on for some time. It wasn't something that just popped up in the last couple of months. It's been worked on for some time. And we are looking to do a soft launch on the 1st of September. Now, in the soft launch, what that simply means is we want to check and make sure everything's happening out there so that we can start doing huge numbers. We know that we're going to have some serious numbers into the e-commerce, so we just want to make sure that we have everything in place. Just to briefly mention to you, it's free to join the e-commerce, and when you join, you'll be paid a monthly amount for your participation in it. Excuse me. We are just clearing with the banks at the moment how we do that, and by saying that, I just mean that the banks want to make sure, because look, they're signing over to us. We now have in our account, and this is not an asset account, this is an open account. We have $43 billion in that account that we have to account for and where it goes. So the banks just want to see evidence there that it's been paid out to members. It's so that there's a double check on this, so that there's not a misappropriating this money. We want to make sure that the bank feel comfortable with it, because this will be topped up. The money that's in Next Level Africa, our asset account, the bank are managing that for us. So you will see happening once or twice a month. We'll have our asset account topped up, and of course money will continue to flow into our account for the e-commerce. So therefore we'll be able to keep that motoring along out there. Now, how it basically works is that, look, yesterday, and I can't give you too much information on this just yet until we get the okay, but yesterday I was talking to a group yesterday that have been involved with us now for about 2 months in talks. I mean, this is what I'm getting at, some of these people that can't see things that are going on. There's certainly a lot going on. Yesterday I was on calls for about 7 hours and talking to different people around the planet. And the group that we have, they are the largest group of their type in the world. They're a global operation, and one of the things I'm trying not to do, believe you me, I just mentioned about this $100 billion humanitarian. I've mentioned about the $43 billion for the e-commerce account. I don't want this call to sound like it's a total hype out there, because I become used to talking in those figures, because talking to the banks, that's how they talk. So consequently I get used to it, but you couldn't sit down and have a conversation with someone that would take you serious talking about this sort of money. But this group that we're talking to would probably represent $1 trillion a year turnover, and they're amongst the highest standard in their profession. And once we release who they are out there and what can happen, you'll start to realize we've got some pretty big players coming along, so we have to be very careful. And that's why I'm saying these rooms, just be very careful with what you put in the rooms, because we have, you know, people that are wanting to be closer to what we're doing. So you know, we just want to make sure that everything is above board with them. But how it would work, just briefly, signing up your family, your friends, and other, you know, associates out there, they can sign up free. But what you might want to do is, if you sign up a merchant and that merchant wants to promote their products, people can then take on a cart, and let's say they pay $10 a month to have 5 products in their cart. Now this will become a matrix, very similar to what we're doing in Next Level Africa. So from the retailer, merchant's point of view, because there's no guarantees, because you've got a product, because you set up a website, there's no guarantee that they're going to come. You've got to promote it and do it correctly, and it's just really just you. So you can imagine if a merchant came into this and they were selling, doesn't matter, we'll talk about shoes if you like, and they wanted to sell a brand of shoes that they have. Well, as people sign in and start taking up positions in the matrix and then add these, because everyone receives their own standalone website that they can promote. So therefore, that merchant might finish up with 100 or 1,000 and beyond people promoting that product. And so there's a commission that flows through that as well. And because it's a matrix, the $10 a month that you're paying is distributed back through the matrix. So therefore, people underneath you, you'll see them obviously spending their $10 a month, and the commission structure will flow up the matrix. It's going to be a force matrix, so that we work it as a team rather than individuals out there, very similar to Next Level Africa. And consequently, that if people want to step up from there and take on more product, they pay more per month for the product, and consequently there's a bigger commission that comes up through the matrix, and that can go up as high as, we're looking at $2,500 a month. So you can imagine the commission structure that will come up through the matrix on that, because we firmly believe we're going to have a lot of retailers join this, because in a retailer who has his product out there like that in the matrix, he can finish up earning money from the matrix and not sell any of his products. So he's on a win-win with it. So look, I guess that, you know, what I'm looking at is that we are moving forward on this. And so I'm sorry, but people are asking questions now before the Q&A, so forget it, because they'll get lost in the thing there. So don't put any questions out there just yet. Now, with the e-commerce, whilst we don't have a firm date for the soft launch to full launch, because we want to test it out to make sure it's all right. Now remember this, that we're looking to pay out comms on the soft launch. It's not a soft launch with no income. And what I mentioned before is the banks want to see how this is done. So we want to make sure we do this, that the banks are happy with it. But what we want to do is pay in NLA coin, and then the coin can be taken, because we need to purchase the NLA coin. And if we pay in NLA coin, and members can withdraw that, because bank wires and stuff like that can cost a bit of money to have them done, whereas they can relieve their coin from the system and put it into the exchange and sell it. Now we will be purchasing coin from the exchange. So whilst we pay one end of it there to purchase the coin, we also purchase the coin from the members when they decide to either sell their coin through the exchange. So this will allow our coin to become a sought after coin. We want merchants to accept it. We want to have it out there so that we can create volume with the coin. So if you've been tossing around whether or not to become an e-commerce founding member, I want to encourage you to take action now for several reasons. Time is running out to take this opportunity. Spaces have become limited, and the prices go up every time the coin increase. If you are serious in the purchasing of a package, please email our support for that. Angelina will put in the link on that, because once they're finished, there is no more founding member packages. We're doing this as a bit of a reward for the NLA members, because I'm telling you now, we are looking to bring in millions of people into this concept. We've already discussed, and that's why the banks are pretty much behind us, and that's why the bank have signed over Chingaling to us. The only place you'll be able to buy Chingaling is on the Coin Exchange website. So therefore it's going to be, something rather special. I'm going to just quickly hand this back to Angelina. It seems like people can hear Angelina better than they can hear me, and I'll hand it back to Angelina just to let members know on their Q&A. And look, all I can do is answer what I can answer. If I can't answer questions because we have no confirmed knowledge on it, then I simply can't answer it, because we don't want to be guessing, and that's the last place we want to be. All right, look, I'll hand this back to Angelina.
We can give you as far as sound goes and how to log in. So let me run down very quickly before I can see Q&A questions coming in. Please log in on Chrome. Please log in on a PC. Please adjust your PC volume. Then adjust the conference room here. Please make sure you've got the correct link that we posted. We apologize that we've sent that out at such a late notice. We sent it out as soon as we knew. So that being said, we do have the questions rolling in. I have posted for you the corporate support email, which is the email for the inquiries on purchasing an e-com. Only if you're serious. I don't want to be fielding emails if you're just trying to get more information, basically. If you're seriously considering purchasing a position, that would be fabulous. So we have our first question from the member about the investors, and it looks like Noel, if you want to start there to answer about the investors buying up the NLA coins en masse, then that would be great. Okay, I don't know, I'm getting a message saying I'm breaking up. That could be my internet. I have had issues with
the investor question there. I just want to clear this up. Last February, and I can't give you details on it, the bank have done a deal with the investors, and that deal is still in place. Now, I can't tell you why they haven't completed it, but it's still there. So why the investors haven't purchased the coins, I can't answer that, but they are still most definitely there, wanting to be part of the purchasing. So the bank are looking after that. There was a massive meeting there just last week to do with this, and they are certainly on top of it. So the investors, from what I know, are still there, and so there's no point in asking me why aren't they buying the cheaper coins out there and taking them off there, because I don't know. There could be, I think it's got partly to do with this migration from the GX to CX. So I think this is all part of it as well, because there are just a couple of little issues and they're working on them, so that we might start to see something very, very soon. So anyway, look, that's where we are with that part of it. So we come down here. Nigel's asked about a team build in UPB. I don't believe there was ever. Look, there were discussions. I'm going back 3 years ago now with this, Nigel, so I really can't answer a lot of that. But it was never a team build as such. We wanted it to be that way. Back in the early days, we got them to place some of our members, out there, but they also had their members they were placing. So I have no idea where anyone's placed in it, but there are certain qualifications that you have to go through with that. So anything to do with UPB as far as supporting that, it's better to direct it to the UPB so they can, confirm just what they're doing with it. Because, as I said, it was never a team build, I don't believe, out there like NLA. Right, so look, Maxine's asking about the white, but we are dealing with all of that so that we can get now, as you can understand, there are things coming into play now with the GEX and CEX becoming, well, not becoming one. It might sound a bit confusing on it. GEX is still there, but no new members will be able to register, and all login will happen through CEX. So eventually people will only have the CEX accounts and they'll have full access to all of our trading that goes on there. So we are looking to get the white paper in place, and there's such a lot going on with the exchange, NLA, the coin. Look, the e-commerce might be a separate unit. We're trying to keep that a little bit separated from NLA and from just so that people don't get confused, because we want to direct, we're setting up a support group with it, and we want to try to make sure people go to the correct area for support, because we are expecting millions of people in the e-commerce. So we don't want to be having these people contacting NLA on what's going on there with it. So I'm just trying to read through some of these. I've covered that, Yoda, with the what's the delay. I have no idea, and so once again, I've covered yeah, I've covered what's happening with the likes of. Sorry, I'm trying to read some of these things as well. Kate is asking about the 2FA. That's something that, look, it's out of our control with that. It's to do with the mobile. So when the mobile comes up, then that's what they're going to be looking. Some people have been able to log in since the changeover of so therefore I can't answer on that. Everything's a priority out there, and we're trying to get on top of it as soon as we can. But and I've asked them, could they put a note there saying don't use the 2FA? The bank certainly can't see our point of view on it, and we've put our case to them, but just be very careful not to use the 2FA. So it's totally out of our control there with that, Kata. Look, the blockchain that we have is our blockchain. It's for it's just for our use in there. I don't know if we'll be sending it public, but it's something that I need to talk to our programmers about that, on how that's all put together. But until they look whatever they're doing, but once again, it's our blockchain that we can look in there and check it on. But it's at this stage not public, so I'll have to find out from the programmers how we go about doing that. When I mentioned about line 8 and 9, I'm telling my programmers, my developer, that I want those lines to go in. So we are talking to them on the weekend, and I'm not saying it's going to be done on the weekend, but that's what I want to have happen, so that we can start working on the entire database, because we now have approximately about 50,000 positions in Next Level Africa, and you can appreciate this, that as we get going with the e-commerce, there's going to be more and more people wanting to join Next Level Africa from that. So we have, you know, and I'm constantly looking at fits for Next Level Africa with alliance partners out there, things that we might be able to fit in with. There's a couple of organisations that we're trying to see if we've got something for them. So therefore we, you know, we'll be working with people out there to try and get something happening. There's been talks through admin about sending out a newsletter or announcement papers summarising the webinars. The webinars are good, but it takes a lot of time to go back and listen to each webinar. Well, we'll give you that job then, Alex, if you want to summarise the webinars and do them, then you go, because we just do the webinars and put them in so you can listen to them, and if there's anything on there of note, you can certainly note it out and do with whatever you wish. The bonus accounts on the 17th of September, bonus accounts from BitClub. Look, the BitClub network, all their updates are in their back office there. There's quite a bit. So, and look, remember this, when we joined BitClub network, the Bitcoin was $20,000 a coin. And there was talk about it hitting 100,000. So it looked to be a good proposition. But right now the returns on mining are very low, extremely low. So therefore we leave it with them. But the renewals on the accounts, on the 17th of December, I'm not 100% sure I know what that means, but any accounts that we have to do with giving people the bonuses for joining BitClub certainly will be looked at, and people will receive you know, whatever they're destined to have. So so we'll be looking at those accounts out there. I mean, as I said, we've got a lot on our plate, and BitClub network is certainly there as one of our priorities, but we've got everything as a priority. The line 7 accounts, James is asking, and so I'll just, that was 50,000 members, not 15. Line 7 accounts, we are working on that, but as I said, because of the delay, we want to make sure we get a little bit of a spring in the step of what's going on there. So we are now back on track with checking on all of these accounts and coins that need to be added to the accounts and upgrades. So each account will be looked at over the coming days to make sure they're out there with it and they've got the coins required to upgrade. There are some accounts that have been upgraded by members, so we'll need to go back over that. Look, I'm not sure. It could be 3/4 of the accounts. I'll really need to check on it. I'm not 100% sure. So so we'll be going through to make sure that the members that haven't upgraded are given every opportunity to upgrade. Look, I can't see any more questions there. Where are we? Is the e-commerce site launching this weekend? Sorry, no sound earlier. We are doing a soft launch on the 1st. I'll be working with our programmers all weekend to get things ready to happen. So so hopefully we've got things in place. But look, there's an enormous amount that's actually happened out there that we're starting to see the benefits that are happening. I mean, I don't know if you fully understand what I said about Jingling now trading. Jingling have got 50 billion coins, and consequently you start looking at the trading on that through CEX, and that puts a lot of dollars to the community of the members of Smada World and through Next Level Africa. So I did cover the you know, I did cover the investors. The bank is dealing with them. They are still there, but I can't tell you when they're going to start purchasing because I'm not privy to that, but they certainly have them on tow. When will the name of the e-commerce site be released? Look, that will be done very, very shortly now with that, James. So we've got it a little bit under wraps because we're testing it out there as well. So we're in test with the site, but we'll certainly let the members know when that happens. Magdi's asking about line 7 accounts, and he believes his accounts are on line 7. Remember this, we've got the paperwork of what was there before we took the site down. So we know exactly. Look, initially they did a little bit of a mess up when they loaded line 7. They rectified that. So once we complete it, we will then look to see what's been left out, because we can only go by what we've got there, and it's telling us that that's what's on line 7. We can't see what's on line 8 at this stage because we haven't been given line 8. So you can understand where I'm going with it. But and look, with the likes of some of our alliance partners coming in, with I do work very closely with the management of UPB, and so I know exactly where they're at with it, and with some of these people, and as we get going there and we can have the banks endorse the coin as well, we will have a lot of merchants wanting to take our coin. So that's really where we're going to be with it. Look, I'm not sure whether Angelina is back online or not. She had a bit of a problem, but I'll just see if she types something in the room there to let me know. Okay, look, what I'm going to do, Angelina is there, and what I'm going to do is hand this over to Angelina. And once again, I do want to thank especially Angelina, who is our general manager, and look, she wears a hat for every part of the business. She is the rock behind this business. And with Karen and Julie, you've got no idea what these two ladies do and what they put up with out there. So we are really all in debt to these ladies on what they do and what they bring together. And that's why I'm saying that bashing our admin team in the rooms is just nowhere to be. I mean, we had one person there that wanted to bash everybody in the room, and when anyone went to support the admin about the job they do, the person wanted to bash them as well. So it's not where you bash people in those rooms. We are just the messengers. So anyway, so I'm going to hand this to Angelina and see whether or not she. I know she just sent me a message there a moment ago. I'll see. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to hand it over to Angelina to sign off. I do want to thank everybody for being on this webinar, and we are certainly moving forward with this enormous task that's out there, and the amount of people involved with it. So thank you very much again, and I'll hand it back to Angelina to close up. Thank you.
The webinar is recorded. Please bear with us as we might have to do a little bit of cleanup on it, given the call, etc. And thank you so much for supporting us. We look forward to being able to offer you more insights and detail in the next days to come. Please watch the Skype rooms for that information, and thank you for your continued patience. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day no matter where you are. Bye for now.